Welcome to day three of the 30 days AI automation challenge. So, today we want to look at the UI again of N8N. We want to explain trigger and then see a simple workflow for us to understand what goes on in each of the nodes, the input, configuration, output. So, this is what we'll be doing today. We're going to build a simple workflow. All right, so let's get into the business. I will be using the N8N hosted on my local PC. You can either use the cloud or you use the one on your local PC. So if you have installed it on the Docker and maybe you shut down your computer system and you now launched Docker, you need to confirm that the engine is running and then go inside containers and make sure that this is also running. It's showing me stop here because it is running. If it is not running, you will just see like a play button icon here. Click on it and you can click on the three dots to check what is actually happening. So once you check that and you see that the editor is accessible, then you are good to go. Copy the URL here and then put it in your browser and you land there. So let's check out the interface and also see what we can do regarding triggers and maybe one or two nodes. So if you come here and click on workflow, we did this yesterday. So this is the interface, and here is showing us that we should add what the first step. So this first step, you can click on it, press it down, and drag it anywhere. You see what I'm doing? You can do that. You can also make use of the zoom out and zoom in icon here to be able to play with this in case you have a big workflow and you want to see everything in the same window. You can zoom in and out. All right, so you can do that here. This is where you'll be able to save the workflow. Just click here. Maybe I want to put n N8N tests flow as the name. You can just type in there and you're saving the workflow. You can also add a tag. What do you mean by a tag? Let's say you're going to be building a lot of workflows for sales, for customer service, for budgeting, for different things or for different companies, and you want to tag it. So you can just tag and say, oh, I'm adding a tag. I'm tagging this as this. That's what you can do with the tag here. Here you have the editor view, execution views, evaluation view. This is the editor view. This is the one where you'll be seeing your blocks as you are building those nodes. You're building it together, you see it here. But maybe you want to check if there are errors, you want to debug what the problem is. You can do that also here in execution. So in executions here, it will show you the workflows and show you where the break is and all that. Evaluation too is there where you can just check this out. So these are the icons there. Here you have versions. What do you mean by versions? Let's say you've been working on this workflow. At some point, you got it right, it worked, but you now change certain things and you're now finding it difficult to, correct what you've done. So you can check out the versions here and revert to the version that worked. So you can check out the versions there. Here you have these three dot ellipses there. You can edit description, you can duplicate, you can download your workflow, and you can import from file. I will share with us sample workflows later in the course, and you can just import a typical workflow and then edit it, tweak it. You can do that here. So those are just the basic things you can do here. And like I said yesterday, I asked you to check out the interface and just see what you can do, get yourself more familiar with it. So let's start now. We want to build a workflow. This is the starting point. And from the core concept I explained in day one, I said you are starting from somewhere. It's a trigger. So what will start your workflow? So I'll click on this, add the first step, and you have the trigger. Trigger manually, meaning you want to be the one to trigger it manually or click and say start. Or on app events, something happens inside Telegram, Notion, Airtable, any application, you want it to kickstart the flow, or you schedule that every 10 a.m. something should happen. Last year, January, I did something for our church. I manage the Facebook. So I just created, a workflow that every 10 a.m. ChatGPT should draw up a message and then wrap it around certain things and post it on our Facebook. That ran through the entire 2025 and is still working in 2026. I've not even gone back to change certain things there. So you can do on a schedule, run every hour, every day. You put the time you want it to run. On a webhook, we will talk about that later. On a form submission, when a form is submitted, something should happen. So let's just test it out with this on form submission. So I clicked on form submission and look at what opens up here. Let me just close it for example, for now rather, and show you. I added this trigger here on form submission. So this is a trigger and this is also like a node. If you double click on it, you will be able to see how to configure that particular node that has been added. And this is where you have the inputs, something that is coming into that particular node, the configuration of that node, and what that node is pushing out in form of outputs. Maybe you don't understand what I'm saying. Let me come back here. This is a typical workflow. The trigger is here, and this is like the end. Okay, this is also an output here. There is an output here. So when an invoice is paid in from Stripe, Stripe, the payment platform, this particular company, HubSpot, want to check if the invoice rather is paid, if it has a PO, payment order. If it doesn't have payment order, send a message out. So this is from this node, an output is going out. From this node, something is coming in, which is the invoice. Then it is sending something out to the next one. So it is sending out information here and output here. And this also is checking, like a filter that I mentioned. If there is no PO, it should send an output out here that, oh, there's no PO here, then this will get the information and this will send something out. If there is a PO, it sends signal to this other one. This also checks something, sends something out. So something is coming in, something is going out of each of these nodes. So let's come back in. So here, nothing is coming in because it's a trigger, but we will soon see something there now. Inputs, and then we want to configure the form. And when the form receives like an input, it should show you something at the end of the day in form of an output. So let us go ahead and create this anything simple form here. What's the form title? Let's just say salary. Let's just call it salary form. Okay, description, you can put description here. Then the form elements, what should be inside the form? Okay, I want to add, let's just add the name of the field. First name is just the name. Then this is the label. This is what the person will see in the form. Label, first name. Then the element is text. You should accept text from whoever that is filling the form. I can put a placeholder here. Maybe, there are some forms that a particular value is there as the default value, but we won't put that here. Then required, we want it to be required. The person must fill it. Let's add another form element, which is last name. And then the label also is last name, and the element is also text. Let's make it required. Let's add another form. This time around it is email, and the label is email, but the text element type is not text. It's going to be email, so that it will check whether it's in the right email format, and I want that to be required. So I'm adding two more. The next one will be, let's say, the salary. We want to start collecting your tax now. So let me put salary here and say a drop down, and then the options for the drop down. So if your salary is between 0 naira to 800K, there is a certain thing we put you in a group. And the second option, let's say 800K plus, I will just stop there. and you can add more options for the drop down. So let me stop there. And then add another form element, which is just what? A message, just a normal text, a message. And that's all. So I've added a form. We've created a simple form that will collect the first name, the last name, email address, salary range, and of course, like a message. Okay, so this is something that we have here. And the N8N form we're using here has like a test URL. So if I copy this test URL now and open a tab and paste it there, it will tell me that the form is not listening yet. So it's not listening, meaning I haven't I haven't asked it to start doing something. It's not working yet. But if I want it to work, I will click on execute step. See, I clicked on execute step and it opens up a new window where I have the form. So let me just put something here. Ola at gmail.com. Just put anything there. Then the salary range, and then uh you know, put this here and then submit. Now that we've submitted the form, this is just for us to see what goes on in here. Now that we've submitted the form, now look at it. This is the input. It says pull in a test form submission. So that is what is feeding that particular node. You pull in a test from a form submission, and then we have the configuration of that node, and then we have the output. Look at the outputs here. This is, you have first name, last name, email. What I put in the form has been captured there. And you can view the outputs in different formats. The table view is clean. We can easily see what is in there, right? You can easily see. You have the schema too, still showing you the same thing but using different format. And then JSON, we will explain JSON tomorrow. So this is like the one that you will be seeing more, and you will, kind of learn a bit, because the info moves from one to another, and we will be using this JSON more, to do stuff here. So this is literally what we typed inside the form that we are seeing in different formats here. So this is something that we've done. And if I close it now, this is now, look at it, it has marked it. So this has been configured on its own. This is one thing. Let's now say whatever we put in here should move inside a Google Sheet. Just something simple. I just want to use that to explain something. We're not building serious workflow here. If I click on this plus now, meaning I want to add another node here, I want to add something else, use an action, let it do something. If I come in here and type sheets or Google Sheets, see Google Sheets here. If I click on this arrow, it will show me what I can do in that Google Sheet. So I can create a new Google Sheet, delete it, append or update row in Sheets. See all the things you can do here. You also have triggers here too, meaning you can on row added. When a row is added, something should happen. When a row is updated, something should happen. So you have all these actions that can be performed, in a Google Sheet. So let's go ahead and add the append or update row. So that's what I've added now. You see that the input here has something already, because we connected this Google Sheet to the on-form submission node. So the on-form submission is pushing out something, and what it is pushing out is the input for the Google Sheets node. So you see the input configuration output now. So here now, all the things we submitted there are now here as inputs. So this is the Google Sheets itself. This is just to show you that we've got our nodes, and our nodes can be sending in input to the next node, and then it gives you the output. So we're just getting started. Make sure you have this up and running on your system, and then you can just test out what we've done now, play with the unform button. Again, I don't want to rush us, we just take it step by step. Tomorrow we will see how to connect it to I our Google Sheets, even, and then we also talk about JSON and data types.